I nearly died.
What? Context, please?
That's
What?
it. Clickbait.
Did we just get clickbaited?
Clickbait. I nearly died on my way to the airport. No, okay, so I was filming a video I was filming a video that day before we got the flight. Because we got a flight at midnight.
Yeah.
So we rocked up at like 6 a.m. and then had the wedding at 10 a.m. It was like we packed this in.
Oh yeah.
And
Well, you packed it in.
well, it was mainly me. That's what and everyone was kind of like, I guess I'll just join Connor on his flight.
Yeah.
So we all went on the same flight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was doing a video shoot in Gunma, and dude, man, it was. Oh boy, it was like cursed from the start. So I rent cars in Japan fairly often. I've rented a car in Japan from this one location at least 10 plus times. I've been there so many goddamn times, and
they just know who you are now.
I've been there so many times, right? So when you book a car in Japan, if it's winter season, you probably want to just get snow tires, just in case, because you don't know where you're going, right? And I always get snow tires, always. And so I go snow tires. I rock up to the rental car place, and it's 8 a.m. and we gotta get going because like our video, we're on like a tight schedule. We gotta get to our next place. It's about a 2-hour drive away. And as we're in Japan, one question they'll ask you when you rent a car is normally they'll ask you, where are you going? And it's normally a chill thing. They normally kind of don't care.
It's not like American TSA.
Yeah. It's not. They like sometimes they'll be a bit persistent about it, but sometimes they'll be like, where are you going? You're like, north. They'll be like, cool. And just carry on.
Yeah.
And he's like, where are you going? I'm going. I'm going to Gunma. He was like, where in Gunma? I was like, well, all right, okay. And so I showed him where I was going, and he was like, and then he started talking with the other staff. I was like, what the fuck? We're not allowed to go to Gunma? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, a 2-hour drive, dog. What's up? And then he pulls out the translating thing, and he goes, basically just saying, you can't take this car. And I was like, what do you mean I can't take the car? He's like, it doesn't have snow tires on it. You didn't ask for snow tires. I was like, what do you mean I asked for snow tires? I asked for snow tires. I got the receipt right here.
Yeah.
He's like, no, there's no snow tires on it. So, and I just got like a normal ass small car. I thought, okay, fuck. Well,
With no snow tires.
Well, I clicked snow tires.
Right.
So I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, you can't take this car. He's like, so what we can do is, if you come back in an hour, we'll get you this car. And he points at this car, and I look down. I'm like, yeah, that's an 8-seater. I don't need an 8-seater. That's massive. I do not want to take this.
Yeah.
We're going down like small roads. I don't want an 8-seater. And he's like, we can't do anything. We can't let you have the car. I was like, what? And I was like, fine, I'll take the 8-seater then. Like, what can I do? I got to go. And it was double the price.
Yeah.
And I had to pay for it, even though it wasn't my fucking fault. So we walk out, and as we're walking out, the guy starts running. Sumimasen. I'm like, all right, what's up? He's like, oh yeah, there were snow tires on the car. I was like, what?
So he just lied to you.
He lied. I think they fucked up and they just misread. There was snow tires on the fucking car this whole time.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God, okay, fine. All right, so we go back in. I'm like, good, at least I can get the car. And they do something they've never done before. They asked me for like my passport and stuff, which they never asked me for.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I you live in Japan and
just give them the Zaidu card, right?
Yeah. Well, so normally even with that, right? If you have a Japanese driving license, which I do, they normally don't need anything else.
Okay. Yeah.
And if you're a resident in Japan, even if you go to hotels, if I'm correct, maybe you have to look at this. I don't know. To my knowledge, if you are a resident in Japan, they shouldn't be asking you for like passport or Zaidu card, even when you check into a hotel. But they always do.
Yeah.
Because if you're a Japanese person,
I never get asked. Yeah.
Right. And they're not supposed to ask you, but they do for you when you're a foreigner, even if you live in Japan. I don't know why. It's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. And same with rent a cars. If you have a Japanese driving license, they shouldn't require anything else. Because if you live in Japan, that's probably your ID anyway.
Yeah.
Right? So the dude started asking me for my passport, and I was like, bro, what the fuck? I've literally rented cars from
I
you
live here
for like 10 times, and you've never asked me for this shit. What the fuck? He's like, well, do you have like a Zaidu car? I was like, yeah, I have a Zaidu. Fine, just, dude, come on. What the fuck? Yeah. So anyway, I get it. It's whatever, we're going. And then we're driving, and there's no snow anywhere in Gunma. There's no snow at all. I'm like, well, this was a fucking whole fucking
waste of time.
Waste of time. And then we're staying in a ryokan for the night, and I see where the ryokan is, and it's like there's all these roads around, and there's this big black empty area, and it's just a mountain. And our ryokan is right in the middle, on top of this mountain.
Right.
I'm like, well, I mean, how bad can it be? So we start driving, and as we start making our way up this mountain, it's 50 minutes from the bottom of the mountain to the top of the ryokan.
Jeez.
Wow. And there's a giant frozen lake at the top.
Right.
And so we're driving, and the snow starts to get like bigger and bigger and bigger. And 10 minutes into driving this, and it's literally like initial D, like the roads. They're literally just like this, going up. It's like if you were drifting, it'd be heaven.
Yeah,
you're just drifting the whole thing.
Right.
And as we're 10 minutes into this drive, there is a car that is sideways in the road that is skid out and spun out.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, okay, guys, don't worry, I'm a good driver. I'm good. And this is Kyle's with me and the cameraman. I'm like, it's fine, we'll be fine. We're going up. Down is the scary part. We're going up. So we're going up, and it's all kind of, it's a little dicey. Like you can feel the car is kind of like skidding a tiny bit here and there, and you're like, okay, come on, car, you got this. And we get up, and it's fine. But I'm worried about the next day because I'm like, we gotta go back down.
Yeah.
And it's snowing.
Yeah.
Overnight.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh
Yikes.
God. And the car. She's like, can you back the car up a little bit more in the parking lot? And I'm trying to back it up, and the car just can't move. It's like stuck in snow.
It's like skidding.
Yeah, because there's just so much snow. And I'm like, Sumasen, it won't go. It's not happening.
Dummy desk.
She was like, yeah, fine, get out. Yeah. So the next day we film all the stuff, and we're ready to go. And we go down, and we start driving. And I noticed that I'm like, hey guys, don't want to worry you or anything, but we can't stop the car. The car cannot brake. So we literally have to just go down this without fully trying to come to a stop.
Gas.
So
Stop
it is
flying.
initial D.
So we can brake, right?
Yeah.
Because, you brakes and the car will stop.
Yeah.
But it won't slow down beyond like 20 or 30 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So you're pretty much stuck at that. And if you try to stop, the car will skid out.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it doesn't want to.
Right.
The car doesn't want to do that.
Fucking hell.
So I'm like, well, don't worry, guys. 30 is a really reasonable speed, and we'll be fine. And there's some turns where the car, you can feel it start to go like this, just sliding. You're like, no, guys, don't. I'm like, guys, I've drifted before. We got it. I'm like,
I've
guys.
read initial D, guys. Don't
I was
worry.
like, all right, guys, we'll be fine. I know how to turn into the drift. It's fine. I know what I'm doing. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We'll go slow. And you pump the brakes every now and then. Just slow it down. Don't try and harshly brake. And then there was this car in front of us at one point. I don't know how this car was there.
Yeah.
And we're going down this pretty steep hill. And I noticed the car is just like stopping. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm trying to slow down. And I'm like, how the fuck is he stopped? I can't stop.
Yeah.
Like, I literally cannot stop the car.
Yeah, right.
And I'm just getting slowly closer to this car. And I'm like, well, shit. We're like 30 meters away from this car. And I'm like, what the fuck do I do? Because I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, man, I can't stop the car. Pretty sure if I slam the handbrake, that's going to make it worse.
Yeah.
So I look if there's any other cars coming. And I'm like, all right, well, let's go on the other side of the road because I had no other choice.
Right,
I couldn't stop, and I want to hit this guy.
Yeah.
So I turn on the other side of the road. The car's like, I don't like that. But we managed to keep it safe. We'd steer in, and we steer back in. It was all chill. But fucking hell, it was terrifying.
Jesus.
This dude just stopped in the middle of the road. I don't know why. It's a straight road.
He was putting you to the test.
Yeah.
I was like,
He's like, oh, you can drift, can you?
If we were unfortunate and another car came at the same time, it's like, oh, well, I have to hit something.
Yeah.
Like, what do I hit? Like, so yeah, driving in winter is scary. Be very careful in Japan.
Jesus.
But luckily we made it down, no problem. A little skidding.
Car was okay as
Car
well?
was totally chill.
Good stuff.
That's pretty why they wanted my ID. I think they were like, this motherfucker's gonna crash this car. Let's get the full ID.
Where is this guy going?
Yeah.
Why isn't he snow tires?
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
it was kind of crazy.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, but luckily it all turned out okay. I think I'm pretty good under pressure. I think I don't freak out, so I'm pretty good at trying to manage the situation. But it was scary still, especially when there's other people in the car. Like if I crash the car and it's me, I'm like, this bitch is fully all insured. As long as I'm good, we were going like 10 miles an hour. I'm like, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to scare them and scar them because I got to drive again.
He's just like, I can drift, guys, and they're all just like, we're gonna die.
Yeah, right. Like other than that, car was like, you're driving this fantastic car. Like, thank you. We just don't talk about the ice section.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the snow areas. Yeah, so be careful if you drive in Japan. Really make sure you look where you're going because snow tires are good, but they can't do everything.
Yeah.
I genuinely think that road was just like you needed chains to like actually.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, like, did they not give you chains?
No, you couldn't rent them.
Really?
And I wouldn't even know how to put them on. I've never put chains on my car.
Oh.
No, you can rent them, but you have to tell them like a month in advance.
You tell them a month in advance?
Yeah, because it's the snow season.
Oh my god.
These motherfuckers didn't even know you needed snow tires when you come in. So what makes you think they're gonna have chains, man?
It was luckily the snow was light enough where the snow tires were fine. But if it had snowed any more, I think it would just have to been like, sorry, we can't go up there.
Yeah,
Like, it's too bad.
Jeez.
Because you just couldn't stop. And it's scary. It's pretty fucking.
Yeah, because I
scary.
mean, like, I went up to go see my grandma, up in Sendai for a couple of days.
These roads are steep. They're very steep.
Yeah, and like the town where like I kind of grew up, I went there, and I'd never seen that much snow in my life.
Oh,
it was
where is it?
no, Miyagi, yeah, Sendai.
Oh, they get some pretty big snowfall.
Near Sendai, but like I mean, Sendai can get some snowfall, but like the Zaol like mountain range stops a lot of the snow, right?
Yeah, that gets a lot there.
So like, so when I saw that there was like a good 30, 40 centimeters on the road, I was like, this is unprecedented. Like it must be like this winter has been absolutely fucked for Japan right now. Amazing for the ski fields, but I'm not going to the ski fields this season because it's just full of Australians.
Yeah,
it's also
no offense, Australians.
no offense to Australians. It's also crazy how you're going so careful on this road, and then of course the public bus driver will be like fucking multi-track drifting going down it like it is sleeping. I'm like, this is fucked up. How does he drive a bus and he's taking this like it's easy?
He's like one hand.
Bro, like this boy's checking like doing gacha pulls while like full on steering, man. It's fucked up. I was terrified for my life, and this bus came downhill. Yeah. Look, dude didn't look phased.
Yeah.
He was like,
yeah, whatever.
Eyes closed, dog. I've been doing this my whole life.